The other one I had for you, obviously we love our boy Bob Stauffer, and he keeps hinting that like, hey, there's teams out there and there's players out there that we're not hearing about right now that the Oilers could be looking at to make a move with on the blue line. Is that maybe a signal that, again, the Oilers aren't looking to do anything imminent? Like they're watching a bunch of different areas, but not actually serious about like doing something before Christmas?
Well, I think it depends on what this looks like in another week or 10 days. Like they might be pushed into doing something because you can't, like, you have to start to pull away from the pack, meaning you have to like, and I'd say the last couple weeks have been better, but still not to the point that people stop sweating a little bit. Am I wrong in saying that? Like you need to create a little bit of separation between yourself and your opponents, go on a little bit of a run, because if at any point, you know, getting closer to Christmas in mid-December, you're still in the spot that you're in the standings, and you're kind of in that somewhere between 7 to 10 range in the West. Unacceptable. And like cannot be flirting with, you know, are we going to make or miss the playoffs this year based on at some point somewhere someone getting hurt. It's just not, it's not an acceptable reality. And so I do think there's a world in which the Oilers could be pushed into making a move earlier. I think at this juncture, though, they'd really prefer to try and be patient and let things play out, let the market sort itself out a bit. And even though that said, I'm still not entirely convinced that we're going to see these like all of a sudden shocking new names materialize. Like I love Bob to death. And I think it's an amazing thing that he's sort of been able to cultivate in your market where he says or drops hints and all of a sudden it's like, you know, crumbs for everyone to pick up and try and piece together. And obviously he's in the know, but I'm reading the market on a daily basis and talking to teams about, you know, I have a whole list of guys upstairs in my office that are not currently on my trade board, but probably will be by March. I'm not seeing anything, at least at this current juncture, where, you know, you're seeing something that could materialize that hasn't yet.
Yeah. And the other thing too, like the chat right now, as soon as we started talking about the Bob thing, they are going nuts. It's Bowen Byram. It's Bowen Byram. But the problem with where the Oilers are at is like, I'm not sure if they can deal with anyone but pure true sellers. Like Buffalo's going to want a young piece back. They want to win now. They need to make the playoffs. Kevin Adams can't take 2 second-round picks for a guy. Like who Edmonton can deal with is basically teams who are willing to accept mid-round picks.
Well, I mean, look, I think, yes, in a way, you just described in a nutshell the biggest problem with the NHL trade market in general. We don't see, and to use Byram as an example, we almost never see Byram for Middlestat ever. It's almost always, hey, I've got a piece that can help you win now. And the reason why that team isn't trading with another team that's in the same mode is because no one wants to give up what they currently have. It's a reason why, you know, God bless them for getting back in the playoffs, but the Buffalo Sabres haven't made a trade to this point because they don't want to really give up on anyone too soon. The last thing they want is to get through this season and find out, oh my God, that guy just exploded for an unbelievable year and he could have been with us had we just been a little bit more patient. I think at some point you have to put a stake in the ground and make a decision. And I think the same goes for the Sabres, the Sens, the Red Wings, the Ducks, like all the Preds, all these teams that are kind of, you know, stuck right in this spot right now that they feel a bit uncomfortable in. But for the most part, that's why the NHL trade deadline operates like it does. It's almost formulaic, which is why you end up with some really annoying conversations, if this makes any sense. Everyone had forever, they started the season asking questions about Rasmus Andersson. Well, why is that? Because he checked some of the formulaic boxes. Player on an expected to be bad team with a really good contract, who's a good player that has a little bit of term left. Oh, wait, his value is rising. Let's just put him on a trade board, even though he doesn't belong being there, because the Flames don't have any authentic interest in moving him.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.